Hello, and welcome to another episode of Crizzy Books. I'm Crizzy, or Criz, but only my homeboys call me Criz. And today I'm doing a review for The Long Walk by Richard Bachman, or Stephen King, whatever tickles your fancy. The Long Walk was published in 1979. This has been suggested to me by so many of you, and fellow King lovers all rant and rave about it. This is one of the Bachman books. If you're not familiar with Richard Bachman and the Bachman books, for a short period, Stephen King was releasing books under a different name. He was basically testing to see if audiences actually thought his work was good instead of just buying it because he was famous. And he released 5, I think. I've read Thinner and The Running Man so far, and now this. And I think this is easily the best of the 3 that I've read. And honestly, it's up there with one of the best Stephen Kings that I've ever read. This is another rare dystopian novel from King. And man, I really wish he would do more of it because he's so good at it, and it's just so unique. So what the hell is this book about? Every year, 100 boys are selected to go on the Long Walk, which is essentially a contest. They all start walking on the interstate of Maine, and they walk until they die. And you can follow the race in a number of ways. There is a certain pace that you have to keep at all times. If you don't keep up with that pace, you'll get a warning. Along with a lot of other rules, you get up to 3 warnings. On the 4th warning, you will be shot by armed soldiers who are following and monitoring the walkers through the entire time. So there is no finish line. The finish line is when the second to last person dies. That's it. And the winner gets a very vague prize of whatever you want, which is interesting. We follow our main character, Ray Garrity, who is a Maine native, and the people that he meets, and not only the physical horrors that he has to endure, but the psychological horrors of being on the walk. It's brutal. It's fast-paced. It's exquisitely written, and I think it is one of the best Stephen King books out there. So let's talk about the story. Very simple concept. Very well executed. What I really liked about this is there was just no build-up to the walk. It starts pretty much immediately. We get a little bit of Ray getting dropped off by his mom, but the walk begins very quickly after that. And what was really cool was that it doesn't give us a lot of exposition beforehand. We find out about the rules of the walk and what it actually is as the book goes on. We learn about rules and all these different things and how some of these kids got here and past walks, and I really liked that. It left a real air of mystery the whole time, and those little details sprinkled throughout really open up more about the lore and the world that these guys are living in, and, you know, the real nightmare of what this is. Can you walk over 100 miles nonstop for a vague prize, and at the end of it, is it even going to be worth it? And our characters tend to question that throughout. Every one of them at the beginning thinks that they're going to win this race, but they all kind of quickly come to the realization that they're probably not going to, and that it wasn't worth it at all to even try. When it comes to characters, King's character work is obviously top-notch, and it's firing on all cylinders here. Of the other Bachman books that I've read, I never felt like the characters were as strong as they are in this one. They're fantastic here. You're in Garrity's head most of the time, and you feel what he feels as he kind of slips in and out of consciousness and his different emotions. You're there for all of it, and you really do feel it. And everyone that he meets on the walk, his friends, his foes, they all feel really unique with different backgrounds and stories and attitudes and egos, and I thought that it all culminated really well, that everybody stands on their own in this. I think out of all of the characters here that weren't Garrity, I think that Stebbins was probably my favorite. I really liked his attitude going into it. It seemed like he had the right idea of just keep to yourself, don't overwork yourself, don't do anything crazy. And then the big twist with him at the end, which kind of fell a little flat for me. It felt a little weird or ridiculous, but maybe a little unnecessary, but I still enjoyed that character a lot. He made a lot of sense to me of just like, don't make friends. Don't get emotionally attached to anything here. You will regret that. When it comes to the themes of this book, I have read that it was a metaphor for Vietnam, and I think that it works well for that. Not that I can speak firsthand about Vietnam. Clearly, I was not alive then. But from what I understand of it, these boys are all dropped into this race. They're all strangers, and they slowly kind of band together. At least some of them. They make their own friendships and alliances and things like that. But eventually they all die at some point. And the horror that they experience on that journey is bad enough, but they all know that eventually pretty much every single one of them is going to die. So it really is truly hell. And the winner at the end, what do you really win? It's just so bleak and gross and depressing. And I love the ending. I thought it was really well done. It's very open-ended and ambiguous, and I thought that it really worked because we don't really know what happens with Garrity. Did he drop dead? There were times where they had talked about even when you die, you just continue walking. And is that what's happening here? Is he seeing the Grim Reaper? Is he still alive? His family members? Who knows? But I'm sure that he's dead inside, so what does it matter? Which I also found kind of interesting about past winners. We don't ever really hear anything about what any of them are up to. Because I'm sure it's not good. And then just to get to kind of some random call-outs that I had. When Ray is going into a dream state but still walking. So he's walking, but he's asleep, basically. That's so crazy, but also I have been there. Like, I understand, like, I've had to drive very long distances and been very tired, and you kind of black out, but you're still able to drive. Your body keeps working while your brain is just kind of shut off, and it's just nuts. Like, so dangerous. Insane, but it is really crazy. I could really feel and understand this. I could relate to that a lot. The mood swings of every character were so spot on. There's no way that anybody could keep a level head in this. They all go through the full spectrum of emotion throughout the entire thing. You're tired, you're hurting, you're beat up, you're mentally drained, you're completely eating yourself alive on the inside, and you're gonna just go through it. You're really going through it. Also, did he bust in his pants at one point? Nice. Bruh. Overall, I'm giving The Long Walk a 5 out of 5. I think it was easily earned. It's a really good, shorter in terms of Stephen King novel that I think any fan of dystopia and horror will enjoy. And it has really great character work and a lot of emotional weight. And yeah, A+. Mwah. Fantastic. But what did you think? Have you read The Long Walk? Do you love it? Do you not love it? Sound off in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Give me any recommendations you might have based on this. Be sure to like the video. Take a step or two onto that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching. Bye.